Hey guys, Jennifer Turner back for another session of our EduSheets toolbox. So today I'm going to be talking about Google Forms. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought this was about spreadsheets. I'm going to show you why Google Forms is going to be a really great tool that you're going to want to have in your toolbox to help you with creating your own spreadsheets and gathering your own data. So when you, pull it up, when you say that you want to start a new Google form, it starts out like this, and it's basically a blank canvas. So you're going to first give it a title. Remember that you're going to be sharing this form with other people besides yourself. So give it a title that whenever they get the email and say you're invited to fill out this form, that it makes sort of sense what it is that you want. So one of the things I do on my campus is I help organize the career day. We do a whole school career day of 1,000 students. We get in volunteers from all over the community, come talk about their careers and just let the kids know like what's out there. So when you name it here and you click out, it's going to name your file, whatever you call that form. So just FYI there. So thank you for your interest in career day. Please fill out the form to sign up or request additional information. So you're going to put whatever directions, whatever you're giving to people in that description, because that's the first thing they're going to see is the name of the form and the description. You can play with formatting here. You do have some options. You can put links in there, and then you're going to add questions. Now, as there are tons of options of questions, but because I generally use a Google form to collect data that I'm going to then use for something else, I tend to stick with the short answer, multiple choice, or checkboxes. But you may want date and time. You may want a rating on there, like maybe you're using your Google form to collect feedback on an event, and so you may want something like that. So I am going to create a couple. So first I'm going to do first name, and Google is really like smart. Like it knows if I type in first name, I probably want short answer text, so it changed it for me. I want that to be a required question, like they can't move on without doing it. And then I'm going to add another question. Last name, once again, it's going to stick with required. I'm going to add another question, lesson, and then, okay. Now, notice it doesn't know what I want here. So I'm going to stick with short answer here because it's going to be whatever people's job, and there could be lots of different options. I'm going to add another one. Okay. And it's short answer here. Once again, required. And I'm just going to keep asking questions. Actually, I'm just going to keep a simple email address and put that in. You do have options where you can do response validation, like for instance on the phone number. If you do response validation, it is going to say that it is a number and it has to be greater than, let's see here, how many is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. So if somebody puts in only 6 digits, then that's not going to work, because in my area you have to have an area code too. So you need 8 characters in order to have a phone number, or you need 9 actually. So you can kind of validate it, or maybe like you only want responses that have an @ symbol in it, because otherwise they haven't given you a full email address. So you can kind of tell it to give them an error if they haven't put in the information correctly. You can also tell it to show a description, so you can have a phone number and then an explanation in the question if you need it. Now, you can add sections, and sections come in handy when you want to do like if then. If somebody answers this, then I want you to go to this question. But if they answer this, I want you to go to this question. If you want to do something like that, then you're going to want to add a section, and you create a new section here, and then you give it a title, and then here's your question. Okay, and so then here you can do a multiple choice, and whatever the question is, you can then come here and say go to section based on answer, and say that if you do this, you do that one, but if you choose that, we want you to just turn in the form. We're done if you choose that. And so depending on what you're wanting, it can be a very handy thing. So especially if you are collecting information. So for example, I have a Google form where teachers submit which students showed up to tutoring. And I have, what department are you? And if you choose English, then it goes then to the list of English teachers and says, which one are you? Who is this? But if you choose math, it jumps to the section asking about math tutoring, and has the math teacher's names in there and math content in there. And so you can make your Google form actually be very complicated on your end because you have lots of different sections, but on the user end, they only see what you want them to see based on the answer that they gave. So just know that you have a lot of options, and if you want to see one that's got sections, if you want me to do another video, drop me a comment right now, and I can definitely do a video with that, but I just wanted to show kind of basics Google Forms. So I don't want that question anymore. And I actually don't want that section anymore. Oh wait, I can't delete the section until I delete this question. I don't want that question, and I want to delete that section, right? So now I've gone back to just what I've created. When you send this out and they start responding, it's going to have responses right here on this thing. So you can actually view them within the Google form to see their responses. Or you can link to Sheets, what I'll show you in just a minute. The settings are really important. So you can make it a graded assignment for one. This section right here is really important. If you are a Google district or you work for a school that sponsors your Google, it's probably going to default in this section to be only users that are in your school student information system. And you're going to want to turn that off if you're sending this out to the community. But if you only want students to respond, then leave that on because they're the only ones who are going to have access. If you're sending it to parents, then you're going to need to turn it off because parents aren't going to be a school issued email address and they're not going to be able to open the form. So you can pick that. You can choose whether it collects the email addresses. If it's verified, they have to be logged into Google or they put their own in. I generally just make email if I'm sending it to just students and staff, then I have it do verified because I make them log into their school account to do it, and then it gives me their student email address, which tells me who they are that filled it out. If I'm sending it out to parents or the community, then I just make it a question. I don't ever do responder input, but you could. So just know this, you can allow them to edit after, and you can also say they can only submit it one time. Just depends on what you're doing, whether you want to do those options. You can choose to mix things up, like especially if you're using it as a quiz of some sort. The types of things that I do where I'm using it to collect data, I kind of put the questions in a logical order, and so I don't want it to mix them up. But that is an option. If it's something, for instance, with tutoring, I always say, yes, I want them to have another link. For this one, I would probably give them that option too, because they may sign up for themselves, but then also they're going to sign up their husband or their cousin or somebody else who's going to come. So we have a couple of former students who are coming, and so their parent is coming, but then also their child, who is a former student, is coming to talk about their career now that they are graduated and now in the adult world. You can set some defaults down here at the bottom. So the settings are important. Make sure you always go look at them. Then when you're ready to share, you're going to hit publish, and anybody with the link can see it, and you say publish. And now it is published. And let me move this out of the way. Got it. And then I'm going to copy the responder link, and whenever you send out this link, you're going to send this, because this is what people are going to see whenever they do it. Handy little thing built into Google Chrome if you're using it. If you come down here off the 3 buttons for the setting and you hit cast, save, and share, you can choose create QR code. Boom, you now have a QR code to share out for people to just be able to scan it with their phone. So, and that will work with your form. You can create the QR code, go back and edit your form a little bit because this link doesn't change. Pretty cool. All right, let me show you guys now what to do with the responses. You can have the responses in here, but like I said, I usually do this for data collection purposes. I want a spreadsheet that I can work with, not a view-only view here of what the people answer. So I do link to Sheets. depending on what I'm doing, I might create a new spreadsheet, and then I'm going to start from that one. But you can also put it on an existing spreadsheet. So, there's sample career day. So I could put it on the one that I've already started with my plan for career day and have the answers pop in there. Now you can see it creates headers, and anytime someone fills out the form, it comes in so where it looks like this when it's done. Just like with all of my data, everything is fake on this screen. I made it up. I write, you know, let me find Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is not coming to my campus. I don't know that anybody actually knows them. So this is what it would look like then. You have the timestamp of when they filled it out, their first name, their last name, their occupation, phone numbers. Those are also made up. You'll notice that they're in mostly no correct order. Email addresses are made up. Whether they're available on that March 7th, because the ones that say to be determined, guess what? Those aren't confirmed to come to the career day. Let's see here. Will you be bringing anything? All right. What are you bringing, or what do you need? Okay, any questions for us? These are things we need to reach back out and answer. And then if someone referred them, because we're going to give shout outs to people who referred them to come. So when you look here, I now have a spreadsheet with everyone's coming, and I use that then to make the assignments to give them a room number, but then I also use those room numbers to set the rotations for who's going to go see each person, because I have it all in a spreadsheet, and then I can use my lookups and other things to merge information together to get the plan in place. So Google Forms are a handy tool for collecting data, things that maybe aren't available in your student information system, or if you're collecting volunteers like what I'm doing with Career Day, or maybe if you are wanting to, you know, get a digital tutorial log. Google Forms are amazing for that kind of thing. If you would like to see more of what I do with Google Forms, please drop me a comment. Let me know what you want to see. Maybe like, how do you use for this? What else do you do? And I can make another form to show what else I do. If you're curious to know about other types of forms, because there are others that exist, please drop me a comment. I'm always happy to share out different ways that you can use not just Google Forms, but other forms. So that's it for today. Bye, guys.